Hello, I hope you have been well since we last had a contact and a conversation. Same here. I'm glad you're here again so that we could go on with the nutrition and where we stopped. I know the last time we had a discussion on carbohydrates and we agreed to proceed to proteins. So today I just like to really just touch or highlight on proteins. We will look at what proteins are, how they work and the importance in our bodies, and also what the sources of these proteins are. So I think if we look at what proteins are, we can just simply say these are foods that really help in building our bodies. And that is why they are also referred to as body building foods. And then just looking at how do they act, would say that most proteins have a chemical which is known as amino acid. And this amino acid acts as the building block to our bodies. I can say it is the block. If we think about proteins or our bodies as a house, then we would look at proteins as the stones that actually put the house together, or even the pillars that ensure our house is standing. So proteins, generally what they do is they help us in building and repairing of muscles. Um, and this ensures that the structure or the framework is like well covered or is moving well, because for sure if we look at the pillars or the stones, then they form the structure, and that is how exactly proteins work. They also make bones, or ensure our bones are healthy, rather repair the bones. Then we can also say that these proteins make hormones and enzymes that also helps our bodies function in a particular way at particular times. Like we know we have different hormones, and also some of these enzymes that are made or are enhanced by proteins are used to help us in digestion and such important functions in our body. So we can see how important these proteins are in our body. Proteins are sometimes also used as energy in our body. Sometimes we need energy and we don't have maybe energy because we haven't had a carbohydrate. So like if we have stored protein in our body, the body is able to convert that into energy and uses it as energy. Another importance of protein is it also helps us in recovery, quick recovery in times of injury. Like at a time you have maybe a wound, a cut wound, and such, it would be advisable to consume like more amounts of proteins, because this would help you in recovering quickly. So the other thing, by the way, about proteins is they also help us in like maintaining a healthy weight. And how does this happen? This happens because when we take proteins, we don't get as hungry. So we actually tend not to eat a lot, and therefore we maintain a healthy weight by the virtue of the proteins curbing hunger. Then what are the sources of these proteins? Just to highlight, like we said, that some of these proteins or some of these classes of food contain more than one class of food. So I know we mentioned eggs while we are talking about carbohydrates, and said we have some maybe fats in the eggs, and yes, sure we do, but we also have a sufficient amount of protein in eggs. We also can talk about almonds. We also can talk about milk, we can talk about lentils, we can talk about fish, we can talk about chicken and lean beef. All those things have a sufficient amount of protein. So it is important to ensure as we take a meal, we like have all these kind of proteins, like generally, and we don't have to take one in particular. We can keep changing based on what we have available. And just to mention also, some amount or some types of fruits also have sufficient amounts of protein. And these fruits include fruits like avocado, it has some protein. We can also talk about a fruit like apricot, pomegranate, and so on. So it is good to just keep looking at what we are eating and what is contained in what we are eating, just to ensure that we also have some proteins in our bodies. So I think we'll stop there for today. We'll keep talking. We said it's just bits by bits so as not to tire you. So let's get feedback. Let's just subscribe to our channel, and let's keep commenting and sharing. Let's keep learning together. We said we are just doing this to ensure that we get better day by day, bit by bit, and it doesn't have to be so draining or overwhelming. Love you guys and see you soon. Let's keep trying little steps, and especially as we approach this festive season where we do a lot of feasting, a lot of eating, let's also ensure that we do it in a balanced, controlled way. Thank you.